So back onto my values journaling shtick. And I think it's important before we get started with the actual values journaling that we talk about some of the drawbacks of values journaling, because there are some drawbacks. Values journaling is a therapeutic tool or some sort of tool that you might use that has drawbacks, just like any other tool you could use. And it's important to be aware of those things, of the things that could cause you harm before you get started. For all of its benefits, it does have a few drawbacks. For me, most powerful, values journaling is at its most powerful and most difficult when I've been living out of alignment. Because if you think about when you've been living out of alignment, it's not usually something that you've been living in alignment all along, and then all of a sudden you veer off into left field. It's usually something that's happened in little increments at a time, right? So it's not something that just happens really drastically. It's little incremental things. And I've found that when I've found out that I've been living out of alignment is quite disorienting and destabilizing. So that's something you should know before you get started with this, is that it can be quite upsetting to all of a sudden learn that you've been living out of alignment in your life. And so that's a really important thing for you to think about as you get started in this journey of values journaling. When you have that realization that you've kind of slipped out of alignment with yourself, it's upsetting. It's very upsetting because you're like, how could I let this kind of thing happen? And it's just a thing that does happen for people. This is also part of the reason why I choose to do one word or one theme of values journaling at a time, that I'm not trying to tackle all of the values, all of the themes all at once. I try to drag it out, or not really drag it out, but space it out. I space it out so that I can accomplish it a little bit at a time. So that I am not destabilizing myself totally all at once. It lets me acclimate to my findings slowly over time. And that's really important. So if you have an inkling that you might be very out of alignment, I encourage you to explore those things first, but also make sure that you're touching base with someone in your life, someone out there, whether it's a friend or a family member, a partner, or even a therapist, someone who can kind of help you ground yourself or have some sort of creative practice so that you are grounding yourself. And like when you're feeling off because you've been doing this really intensive journaling, that you're able to kind of bring yourself back. It's difficult. It's not an easy thing. And the thing I think with values journaling is that it's easy to give yourself a negative experience with it. And my thought is that when you have a negative experience or something that is really, really intense, you're less likely to return to it later, or to use the tool or use a tool of journaling again. So again, going back to that, do it in small increments. Do one value at a time to explore it. Don't do all of them all at once. And I think another thing to remember is there are a lot of videos out there talking about how values journaling, like when I did some research, it was all values journaling will save your life, will change your life. You could be more productive if you values journal, or this one tool will change your life. And really, values journaling or journaling is a tool. And like any other, it's going to only make change if you use it. Someone's walking by and I feel awkward about vlogging while someone's walking by. Go figure. So like any tool, a journal or values journaling only makes change if you choose to let it make change. You can use the information that you learn about yourself to make change about yourself. And it's not gonna change your life on its own. You have to make those decisions to make change. Yeah, I just thought it was worth mentioning because I saw a lot of business dudes, biz bros, tech bros and whatnot talking about you should values journal because it'll change your life, and it can, but possibly not in the same way that they're talking about it. So keep that in mind as you go through with this process, that you eventually have to make steps to make change. And for me, a key part of values journaling is that I look at what I'm doing in my values journal and I look at next steps. How can I take these things that I've learned about myself and how can I make change in my life? But we'll talk about that in another video. Before I get done here, thank you for supporting the channel and watching my videos and making comments, liking and engaging, but especially just for watching the videos. I really appreciate it. I also want to thank everyone who's gone over to Ko-fi and supported me by buying me a coffee. That's been really fantastic. It's been nice to see that people support me in small increments, and I really appreciate that. Yeah, thank you, and I'll see you next time.